Year 6 and welcome to another reading lesson. In today's reading lesson we are going to take a text from the National Geographic children's website to allow us to learn about a Siberian tiger. So this is another non-fiction lesson, and I'm going to begin with firstly introducing our species here. So we have a Siberian tiger, and this is a subspecies of tiger. So it's a type of tiger, and it's the largest cat in the world. It averages to about 3.3 meters, which is roughly about 11 feet in length, with a tail measuring 1 meter. So that's 3 feet. So if you think about a 1 meter stick, that is how long a Siberian tiger's tail is. So adult male Siberian tigers can weigh up to 320 kilograms, which is 700 IB, while females are significantly smaller, weighing up to 180 kilograms. Maybe you could work out the difference between a male and a female Siberian tiger. Think about the calculation you'd have to do there. Siberian tigers are distinguishable, which means that this is how you can see them. It's by their striped fur. So similar to people's unique fingerprints, no two tigers have the same stripe pattern. So just like I don't have the same fingerprint as you, two Siberian tigers are also different in their striped fur. So you cannot find two same looking Siberian tigers. Siberian tigers differ from other tigers because they have fewer, paler stripes, and they also have no manes. The mane, in addition to their thick fur, helps to keep them warm. So you can say that is an adaptation that they have, is their thick fur to help them live in really cold places, for example, in Russia. So we're going to move on to the text now. So I'm just going to share my screen and you should be able to see the text. So we've got Siberian tiger, National Geographic Kids Mission Animal Rescue, and the title of the heading of this text is An Orphaned Cub Gets a Storybook Ending. An orphan is somebody who hasn't got any parents, so this is suggesting this baby tiger, a cub, is going to have a storybook ending, suggesting to me almost a happy ending. So let's read and find out. We're going to do a paired reading activity as we usually do, so I'm going to read some parts of the text, but you are also going to take some ownership of the reading as well. So let's begin. Biting gusts of wind pummel a Siberian tiger cub as she pads through a snowy forest in eastern Russia. It's been days since the baby's mother left their den to hunt for food. Now searching for her mum in the woods, the cub has become so cold that her fluffy tail has gone completely numb. Without help, the exhausted animal won't make it. Too tired to go on, the cub drops to the ground and her body sinks into the freezing snow. Warming up. Two men hiking through the forest notice an orange lump poking out of the snowy terrain. As they approach, they realise it's an infant tiger. The men expect the cub to leap up and run away, but she lies completely still, barely breathing. Knowing the animal is in big trouble, the men wrap her in a blanket. They rush her to a home of a local wildlife official who's alarmed at the tiger's appearance. The cub is extremely thin and her tail is frostbitten, a condition that occurs when skin tissues freezes. The official carries the tiger to his outdoor sauna, a heated relaxation room, and gently places her inside. He feeds the animal warm milk, raw eggs, and meat. Then he phones the Wildlife Conservation Society, which runs a nearby centre. Biologist Dale McQuell, who works at the organisation, arrives at the official's house to examine the cub. So again, they're going to examine what is wrong with the cub. He estimates that she's about 4 months old. Wild tiger mums care for their young until they are 1.5 years old, Dale says. So this baby mother was probably killed by a poacher. He also believes the cub was found just in time. She wouldn't have survived another day on her own, he says. After consulting with a team of local vets, the Wildlife Conservation Society decides to keep the 16 kg cub where she is until her condition improves. Within 2 weeks, the feline has regained her strength. So again, after 2 weeks, this cub has regained her strength. But her tail is so damaged by frostbite that it could cause a deadly infection. A team of vets visit the tiger's makeshift enclosed. Makeshift, it means as if they've just used whatever they have to make a place for this tiger. Tranquilizers, which means put her to sleep. They're putting her to sleep in order to tranquilize her, which means give her some peace. The animal and performs an operation to remove the injured part of the tail. Then the sleepy cub is loaded into a car and driven to a Siberian tiger rehabilitation center 80 kilometers away. At the center, she's given a new home, Zulushka, at the center, she's given a new name, Zolushka, which is Russian for Cinderella. Now, I'd like you to pause the video here and just read up until Tower, and then I will pick up the reading. Even without her mother to teach her, Zolushka has the instinct to hunt for food, which means she knows what she's looking for in terms of when it comes to her food. Dale says, after the tiger becomes comfortable snaring hares, harder to hunt animals such as wild boar are let loose in the enclosure. She soon becomes skilled at capturing all kinds of prey. The tiger seems to enjoy romping around her new home. It's great to see her progress, Dale says. Happily ever after. Now I'd like you to pause the video here and read Happily Ever After. Fantastic, Year 6. Well done. We read the text together. We did our paired reading activity. You can see there's 2 questions here. As always, these are my questions for me to model to you. So I have 2 questions. The first one is a true or false statement, and that is the baby cub left his den to hunt for food. So I need to look in the text if that is true or false. And then I have a question here, number 2, how far away can a tiger's growl be heard? So I'm just going to switch over to my visualizer and we're going to answer these questions. So you can see my presentation here. I've written today's date, Tuesday the 2nd of March, reading, and I've written down my questions. You don't have to write down your questions. I'm just doing this so I don't have to switch back and forth between my visualizer and my presentation. So my first question is a true or false statement. It's the baby cub left his den to hunt for food. My second question is how far away can a tiger's growl be heard? Now for my true or false statement, I need to look for some keywords that I need to go into the text to look for in order to see if this statement is true or false. So the keywords that I'm going to look for in the text is hunt for food. So I'm just going to underline that here so I can look for that in the text, and this will help me to understand if the statement is true or false. So let's go into the text and look for the words hunt for food. I can see that here, so I'm just going to read back now and double check that this statement is true or false. So let's see. It's been days since the baby's mother left their den to hunt for food. What does my statement say? The baby cub left his den to hunt for food. No, actually, it's the baby's mother. The baby's mother left their den to hunt for food. So actually number 1 is false. So I'm just going to write down false for number 1, as it's not the baby cub, it's the mother who went to hunt for food. Number 2, how far away can a tiger's growl be heard? So the keyword I'm going to look for in the text is growl, and this will help me to answer this question. So I'm just going to skim the text here to look for the word growl. Now I can see that here in this little fact box. It says a tiger's growl can be heard over 3 kilometers away. So I found the keyword which was in my question, and that's growl. And to answer this question, the growl can be heard over 3 kilometers away. So my answer is over 3 kilometers away. So you can see here that I've in order to answer my questions, I have to look for keywords to help me answer the questions. In order to look for the keywords first, I need to look at them in my questions and then go into the text. And this will really help you to break down which answers you're looking for. So it's really important you follow this method when you are answering your questions. So now it's time for you to have a go. Now that you have seen me have a go, it's time for you to answer your first set of statements, and these are true or false statements. So on your piece of paper, you're going to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 to 7 on your page, and then have a look at these statements. Are they true or false? It'd be good to have the text in front of you now. So on another tab, have your text in front of you to help you look for these statements. So pause the video here and have a go at these few questions. Fantastic, Year 6, and it's now time for me to reveal the answers to you. So please make sure you only continue with the video if you have finished. If you haven't, just pause the video here and finish off. Okay, so the first one, the baby cub is spotted by 2 men. That is true. The second one, the men can sense the animal's life is at risk. That is true because they can see her appearance and they feel like she is at harm. Biologist Del McQuell estimates that the cub hasn't turned 1 yet. That is true because they estimate that she's about 4 months old. Number 4, the cub is too old to be cared for now. That's why he was alone. That is false. Number 5, Zolushka is the tiger's cub's original name. No, it's not. This is the name that they gave to her. Number 6, Zolushka has settled well at the rehabilitation center. That is true. She has. She's almost found herself again. And then the final one, number 7, in the first year of birth, a tiger barely increases in size, and that is false. They actually quadruple in size. So if you got 1 to 7 correct, well done. And if you haven't, please just make your corrections. It's really important that we make our corrections. That's how we learn from our mistakes rapidly. Now on to some questions. So you have questions 8 to 12, which you are going to answer now. So I'm just going to read the questions to help you understand the question. The first one, number 8, where do the 2 men first bring the infant cub when they find her? Number 9, what age does Del suspect Zolushka is? Number 10, what weight was Zolushka when she was found? Number 11, why is the fenced enclosure Zolushka is put into covered in sheets? So the fenced enclosure is where she's staying at the moment. At the beginning of the text, actually. Number 12, how can you tell Del believes Zolushka was at risk of death before she was found? So I'd like you to pause the video here and have a go at these 5 questions. I'm now going to reveal the answers to you. It's really important that you are watching. Okay, and we're going to go on to the second part of my. So we're going to go on to the final 2 questions that I have for you here, and then I'm going to reveal the answers right at the end. So you have 2 points here, so you need to complete the table with 1 piece of evidence. So I'm looking for evidence from the extract, so this has to come from the extract to support each statement. So the first point I have here is the men who find the tiger are worried for her health. So you need to find a piece of evidence to support this statement. And the second statement, the tiger's condition improved while at the center. So again, you need to find another piece of evidence for this statement. So pause the video here and find evidence for both of these statements. Okay, I'm going to reveal the answers to you for the answers to the questions that we did previously, and then the answers to this section here as well. So please make sure you're marking along with a different colour pen if you have one at hand. If not, use the current pen you have. So question number 11, I believe it was question number 11, so 8, I numbered them wrong, is where do the 2 men first bring the infant cub when they find her? So the first place that they bring her is to the home of a local wildlife official, and then that's when they take her to the sauna. Number 2, what age does Del suspect Zolushka is? And they suspect that she is 4 months old. Number 3, what weight was Zolushka when she was found? And she was about 16 kilograms. Number 5, why is the fence enclosure Zolushka is put into covered in sheets? And this is so that the tigers can't see the people looking after her, and this is to stop her from getting attached. So they do this so she doesn't get attached to these people, and almost because she will see them every day feeding her and almost form like a very personal bond. So they do this to stop her in case she moves on in life, and which she does, as we know from the text. Number 5, how can you tell Del believes Zolushka was at risk of death before she was found? Zolushka was roughly 4 months old when she was found, and she was not found with her mother. And Del believes that she was at risk of death because tiger mums usually care for their young until they are 1.5 years old. So if you've mentioned something along the lines of, you know, she was left without a mother, and usually tiger cubs are tigers are usually left with their mothers until around the age of 1.5 years old. If you've written something along the lines of that, that is correct. Now we're going to mark the section in the table, and I've put 3 different pieces of evidence for the first statement, and I'll give you the reasons why. So the first statement we had was the men who find the tiger are worried about her health. So the first piece of evidence I've written is knowing the animal is in big trouble. This suggests that they are worried for her. the second piece of evidence that is suitable here is they rushed her to a home of a wildlife official who was alarmed by the tiger's appearance. This again is suggesting something to do with her health. The way she looks suggests that she is in some form of trouble. And then lastly, another piece of evidence is she wouldn't have survived another day on her own, again suggesting that she didn't have the strength or to still stay alive, but the health of the Wildlife Conservation Centre has actually helped her to regain that strength, which is fantastic. And then the second statement we have here is the tiger's condition improved while at the centre, and the piece of evidence here is within 2 weeks the feeling has regained Within 2 weeks, the feeling has regained her strength. So again, that should, within 2 weeks, the tiger has regained her strength. So that is the correct piece of evidence for this box here. And again, if you've written something different and I haven't mentioned it, but you do think it's correct, just leave it blank and I can have a look through that on Seesaw. So well done for getting through to the end of the video and making sure you have marked your work. The section I would like you to read today is warming up. So that is the section I would like you to read, that subheading, and send that in on Seesaw. So please make sure you're recording yourself, either reading it or recording your voice and uploading it onto Seesaw as well. It's really nice to see those of you who are continuously uploading yourself reading every single day without fail. So well done and keep up that great work, and I'll see you tomorrow in our next reading lesson.